Gotcha. Good morning to all. Happy Sunday. A little bit chilly out there, but doing better than the last week, that's for sure. Alrighty. To start off today, we have playing of Surely the Presence. We're going to get that up and going, and we'll play a little bit of music to start off our morning. Truly the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can feel the rush of His. I see glory on His face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely it is. Today's services are being live streamed. You can support Unity Ministries by donating at PayPal at unityofbillings@gmail.com. We do have a link to acceptance on the website, but due to a domain issue, the website is down. It's going to be down for probably until late February. Couple of announcements. Yoga with Tony is happening Thursdays from 5:30 to 6:45. It's $12. I've heard nothing but stunning reviews from people who have gone, so I'd recommend it to anyone who is. Saturday, February 1st at 4 p.m., Reverend Phil is having a workshop, Drawing Your Sanctuary or Temple. And then Sunday the 2nd, Reverend Phil will be speaking, and then we will be having the Unity congregational meeting. I hope everyone can make it. And then again, repeating that due to internet domain issues, the website's going to be down for a while. Hopefully we'll get out from underneath our current domain provider soon. There is the Step Into Your Magic speakers, readers, vendors, and artists on February 15th from 10 to 5. If you can come on by and help support that, that's nice for the church as well. Then next Sunday is Friendship Sunday for our potluck. Bring anything you like. Even if you don't bring anything, please hang out and come down. There's always too much food anyway. And then speaking today is Leslie Fisher. I know her pretty well. Today is about the death card in you, navigating the shadows in life. February 2nd is going to be Reverend Phil Zimke looking ahead and with encouragement. My notes are out of order, so that's part of why I'm looking over there. February 9th is going to be Reverend Edie Weigel talking about love. And February 16th is Marcia Reichart talking about showing up in love. It's February. It's that time of the year. Everyone's thinking a lot about it. So now, if you can all take a moment to center, we will listen to the Unity song by David Freeman.
Every prayer every thought and feeling, every spoken word, what your soul has longed for, what your heart can feel, is already here, is already real. There is no one out there is no one else. You hold all the answers deep inside yourself. There's a voice that whispers, there's no you, no me, there's just one, there's just unity. One power, one presence, one light to lead the way, all loving, all knowing, that answers when you pray. When the world looks darkest and your eyes can't see, gather all your troubles, give them all to me. I am always with you. I will always be. I am one. I am unity. We are one. We are unity.
And next, my little helper here is going to help me light the Christ candle. Alrighty, and then we will have the reading of the daily word. Today's word is generous. If you can affirm with me. I give with an open heart. I am generous. Keeping my heart open elevates my experience of generosity. If I give begrudgingly, fearful, or not having enough for myself, I'm not truly being generous. There is joy and trust in being generous. There is joy in knowing that there is no lack at the level of spirit, and my generous impulses are my way of demonstrating my faith in this truth. I place my trust in the spiritual truth that as I give, I also receive. Generosity is a spiritual practice, a commitment to fully participating in the flow of life. As I give generously, I receive the richness of grace, love, and peace. I relax into the flow of synchronicity and receive unexpected blessings. Generosity is the gift I give myself. In 2 Corinthians 9:6, the point is this: the one who sows sparingly will also reap sparingly. The one who sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. If you can affirm with me again. I am with an open heart. I am generous. Next, if you can affirm the Unity Foundation principle with us. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. If you can affirm our Unity of Billings affirmation. Through divine wisdom and grace, Unity of Billings is vibrant, healing, and inclusive. One more, if we can affirm our love offering together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful. And today, Leslie picked out our special music, so we will get that up and going while the plates are going around.
Those who speak about the light while vanishing the dark are walking around cut in half, living from the head while denying the flesh will only get you so far. We came to this earth to experience it all, the messy and the beautiful. Show me that you're human, I will kiss your scars, celebrating everything, all that you are. I'm a sinner, I'm a slave. This I have embraced, enjoying every aspect of life. Perfection is dull and unattainable, leaving me craving what is real. We came to this earth to experience it all, the messy and the beautiful. So show me that you're human, I will kiss your scars, celebrating everything, all that you are. We have gathered here today to witness the marriage between two seemingly opposites. Shadow loving light, light loving shadow, an ending to the inner war. We came to this earth to experience it all, the messy and the beautiful. Show me that you're human, I will kiss your scars, celebrating everything. We came to this earth to experience it all, the messy and the beautiful. So show me that you're human, I will kiss your scars, celebrating everything, all that you are.
It's fitting that the daily word is generosity, and then we have a wonderful experience before we go into this, and we can hold that blessing of the love offering in our heart. So we get ready to hear Leslie discuss the death card in you, navigating the shadows in life.
I think his hands are full. You guys nervous? I was like, maybe this will make people nervous. I don't want to make anybody nervous. I promise it's not anything to be nervous about. When we're basking in the glow of Christmas, caught up in the anticipation of good times with friends and family, it's easy to feel that all is right with the world. We feel less put out by the short winter days and reassured by the twinkle of Christmas lights and uplifting holiday music. Hope abounds. And then suddenly, we get the baby giraffe treatment. Plop! Right into the stark chill of January and the looming new year, full to bursting with intimidating, mile-high expectations from us and from everyone around us all the time, on every channel, in every store, on all the magazines. It doesn't end. The twinkle lights come down, and even though the solstice has technically passed and we are working toward longer days, it feels like this is truly the dark time of the year. And it can often feel like the warmth leading up to the holidays is diminished and we're left out in the cold. Now, you may or may not know, I read tarot cards and runes, and I have for years. And I find it to be a very clarifying means of communing with the divine. And when I'm really, truly open to the message, I'm always led in the right direction. It's very personal to me. I also find the Fool's Journey highly relatable to the human experience. And I know that we can find easily applicable wisdom in that journey for all of us. In this dark, cold part of the year, the card that speaks loudest to me is the Death card. So today, we're going to explore what this highly misunderstood and often villainized card can teach us. Ways to not only make it through the tough changes, but flourish while doing so. And why avoiding the shadow side of ourselves is not just a disservice to our experience in this life, but is potentially quite harmful to us in many ways. Key words for the Death card include transformation, resistance, rebirth, surrender, creation, peace, stagnation, and struggle. This card often signifies the feeling of being stuck in a rut, when we're just going through the motions and not really living, but just being alive. It can come to us when we need to undergo a kind of death, like when a snake sheds its skin. We've begun to outgrow an older version of ourselves, and we're thus being called to end that chapter, leave that edition of ourselves peacefully in the past, and step into the next part of our journey in full confidence that we have everything we need and nothing we don't. It can also call us to surrender and accept what is, while maintaining our peace as we trust that we are always where we need to be, when we need to be there. I mentioned that this card is often misunderstood and villainized, and we really have Hollywood to thank for that. In movies, people draw this card and it almost always portends an actual death or a near death. And in many ways, we've come to think of any inevitable changes in life in the same kind of way. Change is seen as scary, big, intimidating, rather than an opportunity to grow and expand. We've come to covet complacency and comfort and have forgotten how to balance those very natural phases of life with their natural opposites, struggle and discontent. These are also natural phases of life on this earth, and when approached with confidence and curiosity, they can be massively beneficial and provide us with divinely timed growth and maturation. However, change is a true constant, inevitable and unavoidable, and when we resist it or push back against it, that is when we tend to suffer the most. The Death card invites us to look objectively at change, recognize it as an occasionally uncomfortable necessity, and shift our perspective out of fear and into open-minded curiosity as to what lessons we can glean from those experiences. A metaphor often aligned with this card, and one I find illustrates the aspect of it quite well, is that of a snake shedding its skin. I mentioned it earlier. There's one other slightly more esoteric metaphor that I like to use, and it requires a little bit of backstory to really hit right. So just hang in there for a moment. I promise you it will be worth it. I'm going to paraphrase massively. In C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia, everyone knows The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. There's 7 books. And one of those books, it has the younger 2 Pevensey kids and their cantankerous cousin Eustace on a journey to the edge of the world, which is something you can do in Narnia. They visit many fantastical islands on this journey, and one of these islands homes an old dying dragon. Eustace, after leaving the group in an angry huff, becomes lost on this island and witnesses that dragon's death. He then seeks refuge from the weather inside the dragon's cave, filled with classic dragon hoard type fare. Coins, gold, skeletons, that kind of stuff. He falls asleep on top of the hoard, then awakens to find himself transformed into a dragon. Obviously very distraught with this development, he returns to his group and manages to communicate to them who he is. Throughout his time as a dragon, Eustace begins to realize that his usual pre-dragon state of misery is entirely self-inflicted, and that now he's even more of a burden to his companions as a dragon. So he goes off by himself, once again becomes lost, but this time finds himself alongside an unknown traveling companion who turns out to be Aslan. Aslan leads Eustace to a pool where he tells him that he must bathe in the pool to break the dragon's spell. Eustace goes in, finds that some layers of dragon flesh have come off, but not all. He repeats his attempts several times with the same steady but disappointing results. Aslan then steps in to help, using his claws, remember he's a lion, to tear away the flesh of the dragon so that the real form of Eustace can surface. Lewis describes the feeling like when his scab is ready to come off and how it hurts a little at first, but then feels great when it finally comes off. It's maybe a little gross, but it's a really potent visual. This is a great story that really aligns with the energy of the death card. We start at a place where we've become unhappy, stagnant, or dissatisfied for one reason or another. And instead of accepting our feelings and facing the situation with openness and self-love and self-compassion, we attempt to avoid it. Our attempted avoidance triggers more suffering than we ever anticipated, and then we are forced to deal with ourselves. Once we gain some clarity and shift our perspective to a place of curiosity and a desire to understand, rather than a place of shame, guilt, and blame, then we find that we can take small steps to grow. But not until we accept the divine blessings of this experience and embrace the often big changes that come with it, can we begin to truly come through as a cleaner, brighter version of ourselves. We've weathered the storm and gained wisdom, making us ready for bigger, badder storms ahead. Like Eustace, we can sometimes let ourselves fall into those patterns of blaming the world around us for the way we feel, rather than taking responsibility for our thoughts. The death card tells us that sometimes, rather than playing the role of victim, which we love to do, everyone loves to do that sometimes, and we all do it, it's okay. Sometimes we must take on the role of death itself in a way, and purge those things, people, habits, and beliefs that no longer serve our highest good. We've become bogged down with outdated and outmoded ideas that no longer fit the person we're becoming. And we must begin the sometimes painful process of laying those ideas to rest. This process doesn't need to be rooted in shame for those past ideas. They were a part of us when we needed them to be. And now we can gracefully bid them farewell, creating space for who we are now and who we will continue to grow into. Much like a potted plant that's become root-bound, we cannot thrive and grow into our fullest expression until we leave our comfort zone, get rid of now unhealthy patterns, and make room for ourselves to expand. Sometimes you got to take it out and get some of the, split it up. When we are inevitably faced with these tough changes, whatever they might be for us, we have two options. We can avoid the short-term pain of the growing process, which might seem like a good option in the moment sometimes. But like all short-sighted decisions, it will ultimately cause us more and greater pain. Or we can face the inevitable with faith, knowing we are in this process for a reason, and trusting that we are never given a challenge to which we cannot rise. After all, our challenges in this life are ours because they are for us. They are for us to grow through, to discover our own strength in our own way, and to remind us that we are not alone. Every single human expression of the divine encounters their own unique challenges in life. And in that knowledge, we find common ground upon which we can all stand. Excuse me. The struggle of the human experience is not unknown to any of us. It's reflected in our art, our music, the stories we tell, and in our beliefs about ourselves and each other. When we're in sync with the flow of divine mind, we choose to face the darkness, knowing and trusting that our inner light will guide us through to the other side. But we've all fallen into the belief that our light will get swallowed up by the darkness if we venture too far. So we stay near the mouth of the cave, fearful and unsure. We fear what we might find in the cave, and we're skeptical of our ability to make it through. I believe that the darkness has a place and a purpose, and that it's worth exploring within ourselves, illuminating the dark corners of our mind to find parts of ourselves we've pushed down, repressed, and outright denied. Nowadays, the term shadow work is tossed around a lot in self-help circles, but there seem to be as many definitions of the concept as there are people who practice it. It's a very personal thing. In my experience, shadow work has been going deep within to find pieces of myself that I've tried to hide, deny, or even destroy, that I now realize I need to illuminate with love and acceptance. I don't talk about it a lot, but I have struggled with depression for the better part of my adult life. And that's really given me a multitude of opportunities to explore the dark parts of myself. When I was first diagnosed, I felt so ashamed. Like, what do I have to be depressed about? My family that loves me? My amazing husband? My incredible daughter? My steady 9-to-5? All these blessings in my life? But as I've grown, and therapy helped more than I can express, I have realized that those are all blessings, yes, but they're still outside of myself. I admire them, appreciate them, embrace them, love them. But no matter how much love I pour into them or receive from them, it can never take the place of the love and care I deserve from myself. And Unity really taught me that. Since I'm part of the divine and therefore part of everything and everyone, I deserve the same love and acceptance that I try to extend to the world around me. Those abandoned pieces of me hiding in the dark corners of my mind deserve to be in the light. And even if I need to let them go, to take on the role of death and lay them to rest, now I will do it out of compassion, as if they are a dearly departed loved one, rather than sweeping them under the proverbial rug like something to be ashamed of. We're going to shake things up a little bit. I'm going to do something I haven't done before. We're going to do a little guided meditation. So, and I wrote this one, so buckle up. So if you'll all get into whatever position is most comfortable for you and just take a few deep breaths, really get centered. Breathing in, I am peace. Breathing out, I am love. Breathing in, I receive. Breathing out, I release. Now I want you to imagine yourself outside the mouth of a cave. You've got your little candle in your hand, and you can tell you're going to need it in there. There isn't a way around the cave. You're going to need to go through it. As you tentatively step into the darkness, you feel a decrease in temperature, but your candle is surprisingly bright and warm in the darkness of the cave, keeping you moderately comfortable as you venture forward. Now, you're far enough in that the light of the cave entrance is gone. The only light comes from you, and you feel your skin prick as you realize how exposed you feel, almost as if you aren't alone in the darkness. Suddenly, you hear a noise, a voice. Faintly, softly, it calls out to you. You still can't see it, but you carefully step toward it, not sensing any danger, but curious and concerned about who might be trapped in this dark place. Finally, you get close enough to see the figure in the darkness. It looks like you, but like the lowest, roughest version of you that you ever were. You recoil slightly, not sure what to expect from this specter of yourself. Then it looks at you, eyes full of tears, and says, "You finally came back for me." All apprehension leaves you, and you remember now the experiences that led to this part of you being left here. You reach out, pull the figure into the circle of light around you, holding it close. The figure begins to weep in your arms, and you feel the pain and sadness being released with each heavy sob. Now the figure has stopped crying and steps back from you, still within the light, and you see that it is you, now as you are. You've allowed the feeling to run its course, and now you can move forward, no longer alone in the darkness of the cave. Now you notice that there's a light ahead of you, and still holding on to yourself, you walk toward it. You step out of the cave into the light, blinking as your eyes adjust. You notice that you no longer see the figure of yourself, but you feel different than when you entered the cave, lighter, brighter, and more in tune with yourself than you've been in a long time. You realize that figure is and always was a part of you, but now that part has healed, and instead of weighing you down, can now help lift you up, supporting you as you continue your journey through this life. And now take a moment to come back to the present, come back to this space. And like Edie always says, take a big stretch. I invite you to brave the darkness of the cave whenever you come upon it, remembering that stepping into the unknown with faith will always take you further than staying at the mouth of the cave. In the immortal words of St. Francis of Assisi, all the darkness in the world cannot extinguish the light of a single candle. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this wonderful speech, Les. It was very good. If everyone wants to gather around for the prayer circle, and we'll sing our Unity parting song.